Welcome back, Halftime TV viewers and subscribers, to another episode, and this episode is called Notes from Champs. Now, I know you had your notes as well at home, and we saw the different athletes showcasing different notes to the camera throughout the entirety of this year's championship. But we'll be going through just a few of these, and we will be providing a little bit more insight on what exactly happened and the reasoning behind some of these notes. All right, so if you haven't yet done so, go ahead, smash the like button, subscribe to Halftime TV as we get into yet another compelling video where we provide the most insightful and objective sporting analysis. Again, if you haven't yet spoken about it, if you haven't yet shared your feedback, go ahead and drop it beneath this video. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts were. We dropped a number of polls during our coverage of this year's champs, and we continue to invite everyone to share their views and their feedback on the topics. So I think it's fair to say some of the notes were a little bit subtle, others not so much, and we'll start with Tete from Jamaica College. His note basically said, true success is when Jesus or Christ writes your name in the book of life, which again, he copped 2 silver medals for Jamaica College, and that, in my opinion, is a sign of his gratitude for the opportunity to compete in Jamaica for Jamaica College at the Grace Kennedy Championship. We also saw the young lady from Edwin Allen posting a sign saying this one is for her brother. Again, sentimental value. We know these athletes are out here competing for their entire families. Some of them have experienced trauma, the loss of loved ones, and as such they feel as if they're compelled to come out and to deliver on the big stage. Next up, we have Jamal Stevens, and for those who don't know who Jamal Stevens is, he's the CALABAR athlete who basically is the heart of all the controversy, well, most of the controversy that CALABAR endured during this year's championship. So to backtrack a little bit, Jamal Stevens ran the 100-meter semi-final. He was preparing for the final, then he received news that he was disqualified, and as such he will not be competing in the final. So CALABAR reached out to the meet organizers and to the starters, requesting that the final be hold off basically on the final as they lodged their complaint. The meet organizers said, no, we cannot hold off, we cannot wait, and as such they proceeded to run in the final. And when the results came back from World Athletics or whatnot with the directions, it was basically saying to reinstate him into the semi-final. So the disqualification was overturned because 2 other athletes in that race had faster reaction time or slower reaction time than he did, right? Faster reaction time than he did. So having been reinstated into that semi-final, CALABAR was only granted 1 point. Now CALABAR, they threatened to withdraw from the competition if a series of demands weren't met. One of those demands included an apology from Issa. Okay, so I hope everybody's up to speed right now. So the race was run. Jamal Stevens, he was reinstated, but because the race was already run against the request of CALABAR, they could not get him back into it. And because the medal ceremony had already taken place, the points allocation that they even requested for him to be given 4 points, that could not happen again because the medal ceremony was done and dusted. CALABAR's argument was the time that he clocked in the semi-final would earn him a 4th place finish in the final. Strange logic, because we know each race needs to be treated individually, but that's their level of reasoning and that's what they were requesting. It didn't happen. At the end of the 4x100 meters class 1, we saw CALABAR crossing the finish line first. Now CALABAR was first, Kingston College was second. Jamal Stevens, I think he was on the 2nd leg if I'm not wrong, or the 3rd leg, one of them. Anyway, he didn't anchor it. When the individual who anchored the race went over to the fans, Jamal Stevens went over as well, and he took the number from his chest and he placed a sign in front of the camera, and you can see the sign is on your screen right now. It's also on the thumbnail. It said apology not accepted, because Issa had issued an apology, and I'll throw that up on the screen as well so you can see it. That's what the apology looked like. Lacked emotion, in my opinion. It basically said, we're sorry for what you went through. That's it. Right? So he put up a sign saying apology not accepted. Now, later on in the evening, remember, CALABAR disqualified from the 4x1, right? Having put up that sign, we received news that CALABAR was disqualified and Kingston College was promoted to first place. Now, having reviewed the clips, I can't say conclusively that he was out of the zone of exchange, because the camera angles that I am privy to, they do not show that, right? You know, cameras can be misleading depending on where you're looking at it from. So I didn't want to make a conclusive decision to say, okay, yes, he's out of the zone. But the meet organizer said he's out. Folks on Twitter are saying Issa is trying to get back at the youngster for saying apology not accepted. So it's a big roller coaster on that side. Then we had Marcino Rose from Kingston College running the final event of the day, which was a 4x400 meters, and having completed in an impressive run, I must say, he put up a sign saying, CALABAR, what did y'all think was going to happen? So again, the National Stadium went into a frenzy. Those at home loving the banter, and I enjoyed it as well. I must say, I enjoyed the little bit of rivalry. It kind of gave us that nostalgic feel of how CHAMPS was in previous years, and I think, especially considering how bad this particular CHAMPS was leading up to day 5, I think it needed that little bit of kick, and the athletes delivered that little bit of banter with those notes. It was good competition, good clean competition, might I add. But it's my opinion. I'm curious to hear though, what are your thoughts? What did you make of the shading, bantering, whatever you want to call it, via the different notes that the athletes were showing to the camera? It made it exciting, it made it worth watching, and as a matter of fact, it's kind of building it up to next year, because we know next year when it gets here, these athletes, or the athletes who will actually be competing next year, they will want to build on that. And this is a rivalry here with CALABAR coming back and CALABAR pushing Kingston College all the way to the finish line this season, and feeling as if they were hard done. I feel as if CALABAR will be coming next year with that little bit of extra impetus in them to ensure that they dethrone Kingston College. But Kingston College will not roll over. They will not allow it to be. They will not just let CALABAR get the title back from them. But again, we'll leave it at that. What is your favorite note that was placed on the screen? I think apology not accepted is making the rounds. CALABAR, what did y'all think was going to happen? Fans at home, what did y'all think was going to happen from this one? Until next time, Halftime TV saying peace out.